every single year, there seems to be a player that comes out of nowhere and becomes one of the most dominant players across the league. And for San Francisco this year, I believe that player can be their defensive tackle, Kalia Davis. Heading into his 4th year with the team, the former college linebacker and wide receiver has found himself starting with players like Javon Hargrave and Malik Collins being cut this offseason. And against the Broncos in his first preseason outing, he looked extremely promising. Not only did he show off the athleticism of a former wide receiver and linebacker, he showed off continued development as a defensive tackle. And most importantly, heading into his 4th year, he's healthy. With Davis even saying that this is the first offseason where he's been able to build up a callus, which he thinks will allow him to be healthier heading into this season. So in this video, we're going to peel back the layers on San Francisco's relatively unknown defensive tackle in Kalia Davis and why I believe he's poised to have a breakout year for San Francisco, with us initially starting out with this Broncos film. Every time I turn on Davis's film, the first thing that becomes obvious to me is just how well he fits Chris Kaceric's wide 9 defensive front that really prioritizes the defensive lineman's ability to get off the ball. Here on this play, for instance, the Broncos are trying to double team Davis up to the 2nd level, but because he gets off so quickly, the second offensive lineman barely gets anything on him. Then he finds his way into the backfield, engages with this offensive lineman, identifies the running play, uses a double hand swipe and swim move to beat the guard, and then because of his athleticism, despite being right next to the running back right here, he's able to chase him down and get the tackle on the play. This is phenomenal. In a similar way here, the Broncos' first team unit is attempting to double team Davis up to the 2nd level, but he's able to actually push this guard back, sees the running play develop to the right, so he disengages his right side, and because of his play strength, he's actually able to bring down this back on this play. And honestly, Davis's strength might be more impressive than his athleticism. Here, for instance, he's literally able to pick up 77, throw him into another offensive player, take down 3 players on this play, and then he's chasing after it. Impressive as Davis is as a run defender though, he might be better at getting to the quarterback. One thing his athleticism allows him to do in Chris Kaceric and Robert Saleh's wide 9 defensive front, for instance, is run stunts. Here, for instance, he's running a stunt with their 4th round selection, CJ West, and you can see how he's able to fight his way across this guard and center's face, in part due to his athleticism and elite hand usage. Right here, he's able to swipe away 60's hands, which causes him to fall to the floor. And while I would have liked the sack on the play, he does a nice job of taking away Nick's throwing lane right there, almost gets a sack, and is the reason why he has an incompletion on the play. In a similar way on this play, he's once again stunning with CJ West, but rather than using his speed to beat this offensive lineman, he gets the double underhooks, uses his bull rush to walk him back into the quarterback's lap, but he doesn't stop there as he also shows off great awareness, changing his rush lane, seeing the quarterback stepping up away from Anae's pressure, and ultimately is able to bring him down, in part thanks to his playing strength. Since Davis is a starter though, he didn't play in that much of this most recent Broncos game, so to fully understand the player he is, I did want to break down some plays that really stood out on his film last year, as well as his career up to this point, so we can fully understand what San Francisco is getting headed into this year. One thing that really stood out about Davis to me last year, for instance, was his ability to routinely put his arms in the quarterback's throwing lane. Here, for instance, going against Patrick Mahomes, not only does he just throw up his arms, he's looking where he's throwing it, puts it right where the ball is thrown, and then goes up and picks off, showing off his background as a linebacker. Another thing that's really intriguing about Davis entering Robert Saleh's defense is his ability to play like a linebacker. Here, for instance, he's literally dropping into coverage, reading this play, then goes up and gets his tackle on this wide receiver. Not bad for a player of his size. Another part of Davis's game I really want to highlight last year was his ability to shed double teams. Here on this play, for instance, the Titans are attempting to block Davis up to the 2nd level. Davis, though, is seemingly built to beat these double teams as he's absurdly fast off the line. His technique is nearly flawless as well. He attacks one man at a time, and then as he feels pressure, he gets skinny, which makes it extremely challenging for this tackle to block him. Then you have to appreciate his solid open field tackle on this play. To really highlight just how athletic Kalia Davis is for his size, I want to look at this play where the Tennessee Titans are running a counter. On this play, they have this tackle down blocking on Davis with this guard pulling. Davis, though, is also reading these similar keys and can tell it's a counter, so he gets upfield in a hurry, and by the time he's behind your tackle, this play is dead, and it's lucky this tight end was able to kick out Davis, or else it would have been another massive tackle for loss. But while he's always been known for being quick off the ball, I think he's added a ton of play strength since he's entered the league. Here on 4th and 1, for instance, His bull rush not only drives his lineman into the backfield, but you can clearly see how Davis forces this back to bounce it outside and into the arms of his teammates, leading to the turnover on downs. So while many fans won't see this play and be impressed by Kalia Davis, I think it really shows how he can be a successful piece of San Francisco's puzzle. Another aspect of his game that I think goes unnoticed for the most part is his unrelenting hustle. On the sack, for instance, even though he doesn't beat this guard immediately on his initial swim move, he keeps his eyes on the quarterback, and with his spin, he's able to get Malik Willis down on this play. So based off his film, he not only offers mind-boggling athleticism for a player of his size, but he pairs that with the crazy motor, making him the ideal defensive tackle for Chris Kaceric's defensive line, which may even be more so the case when you examine his career up to this point. When we were first introduced to Davis at West Florida Tech High School, for instance, he wasn't playing defensive tackle, but rather linebacker. And it wasn't like he was terrible at the position at all. As a senior, for instance, he had 107 tackles, 9 sacks, and 2 interceptions, and was ranked as a 3-star recruit according to 24/7 Sports, and he had offers from Alabama A&M, UCF, and East Carolina. Ultimately, Kalia did decide to stay close to home, committing to UCF, but when he arrived on campus weighing 265 pounds, he found himself being converted to defensive line. Eventually, his weight settled in right around 300 pounds, but despite adding all of this mass, he showed off similar athleticism that had UCF excited about him as a linebacker. With this really showing in his sophomore season in 2019, where he routinely found himself in the backfield and was named to PFF's All-Conference team after registering 8 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. The following year in 2020 saw Davis opt out due to COVID, and as a senior in 2021, he played in just 5 games before tearing his ACL. So after a roller coaster of a college career, Kalia Davis entered the 2022 NFL Draft, and while teams loved his athleticism, they struggled with his limited film and injuries, which was a big reason why he fell to the 49ers in the 6th round. And that ACL tear did keep him out his entire rookie season during the 2022 season. He came back during the 2023 season. He wasn't healthy though, only played in 3 games. And last year, it was a similar story. Once again, he only played in 3 games, but unlike previous seasons, he did have an operation on his knee that does seem to have fixed it, as he had a foreign body removed from his knee. Meaning for the first time in his relatively short NFL career, he had a full entire offseason, which he said helped him build up a callus, so hopefully for the remainder of this year, he stays healthy, and I think if he does that, he can end up being one of San Francisco's more dominant defensive linemen. I mean, every single time he steps on the field, you just see him continue to refine weak parts of his game, and like I was saying, this is the first time he's actually been healthy headed into a year. But now, I want to hear your thoughts about San Francisco's new starting defensive tackle in Kalia Davis, and if you think he's going to have a breakout year like I do, or do you think one of the rookies in CJ West, Alfred Collins, or Sebastian Valdez will end up taking his job? It would also mean a ton to me if you did enjoy this video to go ahead and like and subscribe. It truly helps out the channel a ton, and as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.